Hello there, it's KyPDuk from KyPDuk Studio here. I didn't release any updates recently as honestly I was sick of being a content creator and wanted to spend more time on actual development, so kind of to be an indie dev for a bit. This episode is intended to be more like my thoughts on my personal indie dev path, which I'd like to share with all of yous, and I hope this will reach the ears of other indie devs who are starting their way now, so they'll have some food for thought. Now, I decided to change the format a bit, so you'll be seeing me on the screen from time to time. Well, at least some part of me, as I'm quite a shy little fellow who refuses to show his face. But I promise I'll try my best to come up with a better mask at some point. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So, back before I stopped my updates, I decided to play the version which, with some tweaks and additions, was supposed to be served as a playtest version and potentially as a demo. And while obviously I'd be playing during the development of a particular feature, these feature playtests would usually be taken out of context, which means a particular part of the game would be played, not the full demo replay. I got a pen and a notepad and hit that play button. By the way, the same way as the subscribe button can be hit, though no pressure just came to me now. As you can imagine, the idea was to record anything which either should be fixed, changed, improved, or removed. And it wasn't the first time I did something like that, but by that time, honestly, I hadn't done it for a while. So, by the time I finished my playtest, I ended up with loads of points to address. And it's not counting those which I didn't record because I was thinking to record only the major things first. Disappointment. Total disappointment. That's what I got from this session. And it wasn't that the version wasn't playable, no, you can play it. The quests are there, controls are there, some audio response was there. But the overall experience was, So the disappointment came from the fact that I was so sure that by that time I would have something which I would be happy with, and as you can imagine, that wasn't the case. Now, about a month before the playtest happened, I had a conversation with my friend about game development and how it's all going. I was actually telling him that it's hard to keep up with both development and updates. He then asked me, "Are you a dev or a content creator?" And I thought, indeed, good point, what am I? And while any indie dev knows for a fact that marketing must be done, it's also a fact that gamers won't play your content regardless of the channel you post it on, but will play the actual game, right? Who would have thought? So combine those two events and you'll get the realization that spending loads of time on content creation doesn't add a pinch of a value to the actual game in terms of mechanics, visuals, or audio feedback. Of course, unless you're creating shit and trying to promote it as a candy, that's a different story, hence needing a different approach. Anyway, this realization hit me that evening. I realized that I was way behind in terms of development versus where I wanted to be, and the only reason was actually me prioritizing the stuff which doesn't add value to the game and doesn't move forward the development process. So I decided to put a halt on my marketing/content creation affairs and concentrate on the important stuff. And guys, I can tell you that things went way faster right after. Within a week, I cleared the ad hoc backlog which I created on paper. I refactored some of the code to make different system integration easier going forward. That's, by the way, something I was looking to do for a while. I then reworked some of the quests and expanded them a bit to make the demo more interesting. I made the terminal tutorial more robust while adding one very small but in my opinion very important feature to make the terminal experience more friendly for non-tech players. Guys, I, as an absolute amateur music producer, put a good bit of time into bumping up my music production skills and created 4 additional original soundtracks. So the game now has 5 instead of 1. Well, okay, that's something which I'll be refining further, but still. Okay, I think you got my point. I'm a cool guy, I did a lot of stuff, and modesty is my second name, but what's more important is the fact that I again started to have pleasure from the process. That was exactly the reason why I even started to work on this game. I wanted to take my idea, use different tools to create a game out of it, and share it with players. But instead I was sitting in video and audio editing tools creating content. And I have to admit, it's actually also cool, quite nice skills. And before I wrap up, I'd like to pinpoint one thing here. Whatever I said is not to undermine marketing. It is in fact a very important part of indie dev, as not all devs are fortunate enough to secure a contract with publishers and some might not want to. I just wanted to express my thoughts on my personal, in my opinion, mistake which I made by concentrating more on marketing while slowly but surely falling back in terms of development. It doesn't mean that others will have such an experience. At the end of the day, I know for a fact that I'm quite shit at marketing, so it takes me at least twice as much time to do it. Anyway, that's it for this episode. In a future one or ones, I haven't decided yet whether I will create more than one to cover what was actually done over this time, but what I can tell you is that I did a playtest session just recently, start to finish, and guys, I was very satisfied with the results. I'm still adding some stuff, but it's really just bits and pieces. So, subscribe to the channel if you want to track the development process, visit the Steam or itch.io pages if you wish. I also have other socials, everything will be in the description below. Have a very nice day, night, or whichever time of the day it is for you now, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.